A stranger's gift for Christmas. The holidays suck. A really big suck. Everything bad that ever happened to me happened between Thanksgiving and New Year's Eve. It started when I was 14. The week after Thanksgiving, the family traveled to Hawaii to spend 2 weeks. God, but how I was okay with that. 2 weeks on sunny beaches that would be dotted with gorgeous girls in bikinis. A guy's paradise, except I didn't go. 2 days before my scheduled departure, I slipped on ice, fell down 2 flights of stairs, and ended up breaking my right leg in 2 places. The hotel and airline tickets were prepaid and non-refundable, so I was left with Aunt Louise and Uncle George while the rest of the family went out to have fun. When I was 15, my appendix burst 3 days before Christmas, and I spent a week in the hospital. When I was 16, I spent Christmas in the hospital again. This time because my tonsils became inflamed and had to be removed. The year I turned 17, I went to the hospital again, where by this time I knew the receptionist by name. My older sister, who had recently married, had invited the family over for Thanksgiving dinner. They said it was the turkey, but whatever it was, the whole family ended up in the emergency room having their stomachs pumped. That's how I got to this year. I'm 18, Christmas is in 5 days, and I'm in the hospital again, this time with both legs broken and in traction. I was walking home from the library when a woman driving down the street hit a deep pothole, lost control of her car, which flipped over the curb, spun out onto the sidewalk, and hit me. God, how I hate this damn holiday season. I was resting when she entered the room, and it was several minutes before I realized she was here. She stood there, nervously clutching her purse and looking at me, and it was obvious to me that she wanted to say something, but she couldn't manage it. She looked at the guy lying on the bed next to me, then back at me, then took 3 or 4 steps forward, and then just stood there, shifting her gaze from me to my roommate. I was beginning to think she had the wrong room when she pulled herself together, took a step toward my bed, smiled nervously, and said, "Bobby, I'm Laura Ronnie." She hesitantly held out her hand and said, "Yeah, I'm the one who hit you with the car." I was a little woozy from the medication, but I managed to take her hand and shake it. "I'm so sorry. It all happened so fast. 1 second I was driving down the road and suddenly the car swerved to the right and hit the curb. I put my foot on the brake and pressed it as hard as I could, but the car wouldn't stop. I'm so sorry." I didn't know what I was supposed to say, so I just lay there looking at her. She stood there rocking back and forth, either waiting to see what I would say or trying to think of what else to say. And then she handed me a piece of paper. "This is my phone number. If you need anything at all, just call me, please. I have to go. My husband is waiting for me downstairs, but I'll be back. I'm sorry, Bobby. I didn't mean to hurt you." As she turned to leave, I saw a tear roll down her cheek, and as she walked towards the door, I couldn't help but notice that she had an amazing body. Brad, the guy on the next bed, let out a low whistle and said, "Play it right, kid, and I bet you can try this." Yeah, right, I thought, falling asleep. For the next few days, Laura came to see me every day during visiting hours. She brought me candy, magazines to read, and even gave me an iPod with hip-hop music. I didn't have the heart to tell her I hated that music, so I just smiled and thanked her. She asked me if I was sick of hospital food, and when I said yes, she started bringing me food from Burger King, McDonald's, and Pizza Hut. She did her best to show me how sorry she was that I was in the hospital. Every time she left, Brad would say something like, "She's feeling real guilty, kid, and you better take advantage of it. A couple moves on your part, and she'll give it up. She'll feel she owes you." I didn't pay much attention to him. Not that I didn't like it if I couldn't do what he said. But she was a 38-year-old mother of 3 with a husband, and I was an 18-year-old boy. But I thought of her often. She was a very attractive woman, and I loved watching her body move every time she left the room. Laura was about 5 feet 5 inches tall, weighed about 130 pounds, and in addition to her gorgeous body, she also had amazing breasts. The only thing I didn't like about her was her short hair. I just don't like short hair on girls, but Laura gave me a whatty every time she walked into the room. I know she knew about it because I couldn't help but notice my sheet going up when she came in. She wasn't the only one who noticed it. Mabel, the day shift nurse, noticed it too. She thought it was funny. Mabel always came into the room right after Laura left, and the sheet would stay in place because I had just finished watching Laura's body as she left. Mabel giggled and said something like, "Too bad I'm a medical professional, Bobby, or I'd take care of that for you. We have some young female dancers coming in on the weekends. Maybe I can get one of them to help you." I was embarrassed, and my incentive was waning. On Christmas Eve, Mabel said, "If you can get her to take care of your problem, Bobby, just tell her to close the door and I'll make sure you're not disturbed." And when I blushed, she laughed. Christmas came and went, my family came and went, Brad was discharged and I was left alone. I was surprised when Laura walked in. I thought she would be busy with her family. I wasn't expecting to see her and told her so. "I put you here, Bobby. I ruined your Christmas, so the least I can do is visit you. Actually, I was supposed to come over to give you your Christmas present." When she walked in, she had nothing in her hands but her purse. And I asked, "What gift?" She smiled, got up, walked to the door, closed it, and went back to the bed. "It's a very special gift, Bobby." She pulled back the sheet and exposed my body. She looked into my eyes and her right hand began to slowly stroke my body. "I hope you're sexy." She started to remove her clothes and asked, "Do you like it, Bobby?" "Oh, God, yes," I said, and she smiled and said, "Good." We had sex and it was delicious. And then Laura said, "Merry Christmas, Bobby. Same time tomorrow?" I didn't believe I could talk, so I just nodded my head yes, and she smiled and said, "Okay." She leaned over to me and kissed me lightly on the lips and then turned to leave. Reaching the door, she turned and said, "I've seen the way you look at my body, Bobby. Would you like to have sex with me tomorrow?" Again, I didn't believe myself that I could speak, but she must have realized the answer by the look on my face, because she gave me a dazzling smile and said, "I thought so. Hurry up and fix Bobby." She kissed me and left. The end. Subscribe to my channel. Thank you.